Chapter 2 of The Psychology of Money is titled Luck and Risk. This chapter explains how much of our lives, our successes, and our failures are influenced by forces beyond our control. Morgan Housel shows that people often underestimate the role of luck in success and the role of risk in failure. Instead, we tend to create neat stories about why things happen, giving credit or blame only to personal decisions. But in reality, both luck and risk are constantly shaping outcomes. The chapter begins with the story of Bill Gates. Gates is famous for co-founding Microsoft and becoming one of the richest men in the world. Many credit his brilliance, his hard work, and his vision. Those qualities are important, but Housel reminds us that Gates was also incredibly lucky. He attended Lakeside School in Seattle, one of the few schools in the world at the time that had a computer terminal. In the late 1960s, computers were rare and expensive, yet Gates had access to one while still in middle school. This exposure gave him a massive head start that most kids never had. Without it, his life might have turned out very differently. Gates himself has acknowledged this stroke of luck, saying he would not have started Microsoft if he had not gone to Lakeside. At the same time, luck can cut the other way. The chapter tells the story of Ken Evans, one of Gates's best friends at Lakeside. Evans was just as smart and ambitious as Gates, and Gates believed Evans would have become a major business leader. But Evans died in a mountaineering accident before graduating from high school. His potential never materialized, not because of choices he made but because of risk, the unpredictable side of life that can end opportunities before they even begin. This contrast between Gates and Evans highlights the thin line between success and tragedy. One had extraordinary luck, while the other faced devastating risk. Housel uses these stories to make an important point. We should not judge outcomes only by the people involved. Instead, we must recognize the role of luck and risk in shaping those outcomes. Hard work and skill matter, but they do not guarantee success. At the same time, poor outcomes do not always mean someone made bad choices. Sometimes bad luck simply strikes. Understanding this truth makes us more humble about our own successes and more compassionate about the failures of others. The chapter also examines how our society often glorifies success without acknowledging luck. When we look at billionaires or world-class athletes, we usually focus on their determination, talent, and strategies. But behind every success story is a set of circumstances outside anyone's control. Timing, environment, connections, and random chance all play roles. Bill Gates was talented, but thousands of equally talented people never became billionaires because they did not have the same lucky breaks. This does not diminish Gates's achievements, but it helps us see success more realistically. Similarly, risk means that even great decisions can lead to bad results. Imagine an investor who carefully studies a company, makes a smart investment, and then loses money because of a sudden market crash. That loss is not proof of stupidity. It is evidence that risk exists. The reverse is also true. Someone might gamble recklessly and strike it rich by pure luck. Their success does not prove they were wise. Risk and luck blur the link between actions and outcomes, which is why it is dangerous to assume that results always reveal skill. One key takeaway from this chapter is that we should avoid extreme conclusions. When analyzing success or failure, it is tempting to say that one person is a genius while another is a fool. But the truth is usually more complex. Success is a mix of skill and luck, and failure is a mix of mistakes and risk. Recognizing this balance prevents us from oversimplifying reality. It also protects us from arrogance, because we understand that luck has played a role in our own lives too. Housel also encourages us to think about survivorship bias. This bias happens when we focus only on people who succeeded and ignore those who tried and failed. For example, we often study the habits of billionaires and try to copy them. But for every billionaire, there are thousands of people who had similar habits and still did not succeed. By ignoring the failures, we trick ourselves into believing that success can be easily copied, when in reality, luck separates winners from losers. To learn honestly, we must study both sides, not just the survivors. Another lesson from this chapter is to respect the role of chance in our own lives. Many of us have experienced moments when being in the right place at the right time changed everything. Meeting a certain person, landing a certain job, or avoiding an accident can alter the course of a lifetime. These moments may feel ordinary at the time but, in hindsight, reveal the power of luck. Similarly, small risks, like a sudden illness or an unexpected crisis, can derail years of hard work. Life is fragile, and acknowledging that fragility makes us wiser. Housel does not argue that we should dismiss effort or skill. On the contrary, working hard and making good choices are essential. But he reminds us to stay humble, because no one controls everything. Even the best decision-maker cannot eliminate risk, and even the most careless person can get lucky. This understanding helps us avoid unfair judgments of others and keeps our egos in check when we succeed. He also offers practical advice about how to live with this reality. First, avoid extreme risk-taking. Since bad luck can strike at any time, putting everything on the line is dangerous. No matter how confident you feel, risk means you can lose more than you expect. Second, be cautious when copying others. What worked for them may not work for you, because their success might have depended on luck you cannot replicate. Third, remember that outcomes do not tell the full story. Instead of praising or blaming results alone, look at the process. Good decisions can still lead to bad outcomes, and bad decisions can still lead to good ones. Judging only by results gives us a distorted picture. By the end of Chapter 2, Housel leaves us with a clear message. Success is never fully earned, and failure is never fully deserved. Luck and risk play invisible but powerful roles in every story. Recognizing this truth allows us to approach life with humility, gratitude, and empathy. It keeps us from overcrediting ourselves when things go well and from being too harsh on ourselves or others when things go badly. The world is uncertain, and chance shapes more than we realize. Accepting this helps us make wiser decisions, treat people more kindly, and navigate money and life with clearer eyes.